Hi, very warm welcome to my channel, Learn English with Mustafa Khatak. Hi, our today's topic is sentence structures and writing conventions. In this lecture, we will review the basics of sentence writing, learn about five common sentence structures, and apply learning by attempting to write each sentence structure. Let's start with the basics. What is a sentence? A sentence is a group of words that expresses a complete thought and contains a subject and a verb. Remember, the focus is on a complete thought, and a sentence must have a subject and a verb. For example, the dog barked. In the sentence above, the dog is the subject and barked is the verb. It communicates a complete thought as well. We'll explore more advanced sentence structures to utilize in your writing. Here are some common sentence structures. These sentence structures are great building blocks to stronger and more varied writing. Compound sentence, complex sentence, sentence beginning with a gerund, sentence beginning with a participle phrase, and compound sentence with an adverbial conjunction. Let's begin and discuss each structure in detail. We start with compound sentence. What is a compound sentence? A compound sentence is when two complete sentences are connected by a comma and a conjunction. It means two independent clauses connected by a coordinating conjunctions. Common conjunctions include and, but, or, nor, so, and yet. You can use this formula to help build your own sentence. Complete sentence plus comma plus conjunction plus complete thought and our complete sentence. Let's look at some example of compound sentence. Look at the first example of compound sentence. Marcus stepped on the steps and his friends laughed loudly. You can see here two independent sentences combined by a coordinating conjunction and. If you look closely, you will see the first sentence is followed by a comma and then followed by a coordinating conjunction and. Compound sentences always are two independent clauses connected by a coordinating conjunction. Look at the second sentence. Mia likes cooking dinner for the family, comma, but she doesn't clean. Sentence 3. Manny overslept, comma, yet he got to school on time. We could go to lunch, comma, or we could see a movie. I can't sing, so I danced in the show instead. So you see here, each sentence, independent sentence, a simple sentence followed by a comma and followed by a conjunction. These types of sentences are called compound sentences, and you can utilize this structure to bring variety to your writing. Practice time. Now write compound sentences. Write one sentence using the conjunction and. Also write another sentence using the conjunction but. And also write one compound sentence using the conjunction or. Remember to use this formula. Complete sentence followed by a comma followed by a conjunction and another complete sentence or independent clause. Now, the second structure that is mostly used in writing is complex sentences. A complex sentence is a sentence that starts with a dependent clause followed by a comma and a complete sentence. Now, if you want to know further about clauses, dependent clauses and independent clauses, you can watch my separate video. I will place the link in the description. Some complex sentence starters include after, as, before, if, since, and when. You can use this formula to write a complex sentence. Dependent clause followed by comma and complete sentence. Here are some examples of complex sentences. After school, I have to go to soccer practice. As you can see, the sentence starts with a dependent clause followed by a comma followed by an independent clause. Look at sentence 2. As I thought about the big game, I got nervous. Before I go shopping, I must stop at the bank. In this sentence also, before I go shopping, this is a dependent clause. It doesn't give a complete thought in itself. It needs something for completion. Before I go shopping, comma, I must stop at the bank. Now the second part, I must stop at the bank, this is an independent clause. The next sentence, since he returned, he has reconsidered things. Again, as you can see, we started with a dependent clause, followed by a comma, followed by an independent clause. The last sentence, when the rain stopped, we started to play again. Now, when the rain stopped, this is a dependent clause. It doesn't give a complete thought in itself. It needs something for completion. When the rain stopped, comma, we started to play again. This is an example of a complex sentence. A sentence starting with a dependent clause followed by a comma followed by an independent clause. Now here is your turn to write some complex sentences. Grab a pen and a piece of paper. Write one complex sentence starting with after. Write another complex sentence starting with during, and write another sentence starting with since. You can use this formula, dependent clause followed by comma followed by a complete sentence. The next important structure that is used in English writing is beginning a sentence with a gerund. First of all, what is a gerund? A gerund is a verb that functions as a noun and it usually end in ing. So, how will you write a sentence beginning with a gerund? A sentence beginning with a gerund is a statement about an activity in the ing form. You can use this formula, gerund plus statement about that activity. Look at some example and you will understand what is gerund and a sentence starting with gerund. Here are some example sentences beginning with a gerund. Reading is something I enjoy doing most days during the summer. Now, in this sentence, reading is used as a gerund. It's not a verb, it is used as a noun. Look at the second sentence. Dancing can be a fun form of exercise for many. Here also, dancing is used as a gerund, it's not a verb. Traveling can expand people's perspective. Here, traveling is used as a gerund. Swimming is a great low impact activity. Here in this sentence, swimming is used as a gerund. Practice time. Now it's your turn to write sentences beginning with a gerund. Write one sentence starting with the gerund sharing. Write another sentence starting with the gerund thinking, and write one sentence starting with the gerund writing. Writing can be a fun for you also. The next important structure that is used in English writing is beginning a sentence with a participle phrase. Now, what is a participle phrase? This type of sentence is a dependent clause that start with an ing word followed by a comma and a complete thought. You can use this formula to write sentences beginning with a participle phrase. Phrase starting with an ing word followed by a comma and followed by a complete sentence. Now, when you look at some example, you will understand this type of structure. These are some example sentences beginning with a participle phrase. Walking down the street, comma, she waved at the child. Now, if you look at the first sentence, walking down the street, it's a participle phrase. It starts with ing form of word, walking. Walking down the street, she waved at the child. Look at sentence 2. Thinking about the test, the student got nervous. Now, thinking about the test, this is a participle phrase, followed by a comma and followed by a complete sentence. Holding hands, the couple got some ice cream. Now, if you look at this, holding hands, this is a participle phrase. The word holding ends in ing. Holding hands, the couple got some ice cream. Now it's your turn to write some sentences beginning with a participle phrase. Write one sentence starting with the participle phrase biking. Write one sentence use talking, and write one sentence use singing. Remember to use this formula. Phrase starting with an ing word, followed by comma, followed by complete sentence. With this, we come to the end of this lecture. But remember, understanding and utilizing these sentence structures empower you to write more clearly, effectively, and engagingly. I hope you will practice these structures several times unless you get mastery over it. Thank you for watching. Good luck and success.